Hey all you anime addicts, it's a new year, it's 2025, and it's new you. And maybe you have some New Year's resolutions. Maybe you want to exercise a bit more, maybe you want to watch a bit more anime, and hey, maybe you just want to be a nicer, kinder, more giving person in your life. Be a good human for once. Well, what if I told you that we here at Anime Addicts Anonymous Incorporated could make all of those dreams a reality in one fell swoop? Introducing the not quite new Anime Addicts bonus content. You can feel good by contributing and helping out this independent podcast with just a little bit of your hard-earned money every month, and in return we will give you loads and loads of bonus content to listen to while you're out going on walks, while you're hitting the gym, while you're out just moving and grooving, and it will make your anime addiction so much worse because, surprisingly, we talk about even more anime and stuff like our after parties and hentai episodes. And when you get sick of all that cartoon talk, you can listen to our Hobby Addicts episodes, where we talk about all the video games, movies, books, and other nonsense that we get up to keep you entertained. Honestly, between you and me, this is your best chance at being the best you, so I highly recommend it. And if not, no worries, and no judgment. We still love you, you still get the main episodes for free, and we hope you have a great day. Now let's talk about some anime.
何よ、アニメアディクツアノニマスのライブブロードキャストやってるって言ってるでしょ。聞きなさいよね。You are listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello and welcome to episode 443. No, I lied. That's Hobby Addicts. We're past that now. I'm all out of sorts. This is episode 763. Oh my goodness, we're in the future now of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast, the only podcast around where I don't remember the name of the episode, but it's the only podcast that also makes your anime addiction worse, which we try to do every Sunday live on Twitch and YouTube and everywhere, but also not live everywhere else. And if you're not listening live, because you're also in the future, big announcement, our anime Oscars are officially out. So go check out our website, AAAPodcast.com, and make sure to vote for your favorite shows of 2024 and your least favorite show when it's out there. We'll have a whole collection of different genres: best boy, best girl, most surprising, best studio, best movie, all sorts of things that we want to hear your opinion on. This is kind of our big event that we do every year, and we have a ton of fun with it. So please go vote. AAAPodcast.com should be out by the time you're listening to this, unless you're live, in which case, I'm sorry. And also, thank you so much for joining us. Also joining us are my two fabulous co-hosts today. We got Caroline, who is sipping on luscious looking coffee. What kind is it? I'm not a coffee person, but lay it on me. Set the stage.
Medium roast.
Medium
Plain.
roast. Mid.
Medium roast coffee, sugar, French vanilla creamer.
You heard it here, folks.
That's the magic recipe.
That honestly sounds very pleasant when it's like 2 degrees out. It's actually a little bit warmer than usual, but hopefully everyone has survived the cold or surviving the heat in some places. But we also have Raggedy here, who is not drinking coffee, but looks like he's in a chilly place. Where are you at?
I am quite cold. I am in Punk Hazard, which is from One Piece, because of course it is. And it is a representation of the United States, because the other half of Punk Hazard is on fire. So there you go.
That's very topical and tropical at times, I'm assuming. As always, check us out on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I guess we do all those things, but mostly we're on Discord, where we have a bunch of events, live watch parties. You can always come in, chat with us, fellow anime addicts, and it's just a good old time and the place to be. It's free.
Wait a minute.
What?
Are we still on TikTok? Because
I assume
TikTok got the kibosh, and then it came back. But if you deleted the app, then you don't get it back. So did Kaiden delete it? So do we not have it anymore?
I don't know.
I wonder. I actually haven't asked him about that.
You know what, listener? That's a task for you. Find out. Let us
You
know.
go figure it
in
out.
the comments. Well, I don't have TikTok. I can't vouch for this. What are we doing today? Well, to get you revved up and ready to go for the 2024 Anime Oscars, we have a prelude to it where we have kind of conglomerated together as one podcasting unit and voted on the top 5 and bottom 5 shows of 2024. So we took a little group poll, we got the results, and we're going to go through those, give our little hot takes about them, and just kind of encourage you to maybe watch the ones you really like if you haven't seen them yet before you go to vote in the poll. So that's our main topic, and we have the continuing big impression section where we are going through all these winter 2025 shows. Today we will be doing an impression on Zenshu, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, Season 2, Apothecary Diaries Season 2, I Have a Crush at Work, and because Raggedy's on the show, we can't not talk about Ameku, I don't know, Ameku M.D, Doctor Detective. So we got a lot of stuff on our plate today.
I'm sure it's
Anything
all
else?
medically accurate, and
Yeah,
we
exactly.
will get all of the details
You'll
from our
find
own
out.
medical expert.
You'll find out later.
Anything else
Ooh.
we want to get off our chest before we hit this bad boy off running?
Nope.
Nope.
Let's
Let's
get
do
to
it.
the news.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Oh my goodness, it's so nice actually having news this week for once, because the last couple of weeks have been pretty sparse. But my big news of the week is that we finally have a release date for the upcoming Lazarus anime. This is the new anime from Shinichiro Watanabe, who you know from Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Space Dandy, as well as animation studio MAPPA, who will be airing finally after years and years of talking about it and teasing about it and just kind of just showing images that no one really cares about. April 2025, which is right around the corner. I like that. I like when we get announcements of whether it be video games, shows, movies, whatever, when it's like, hey, you can watch, play, experience this soon. I don't like when it's like, hey, you can check out this. What was it like? What was the, not Ghost of Yote, what was the one I'm talking about?
Oh, Ghost of Tsukushima.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can play this in 2027 or watch it. And it's like, I don't, neat, but I like this. So I know it's been teased for a while, but we got a date. Though we have no announcement yet on when it will debut on Toonami. So I'm assuming it's not going to be too far after this. I know when Uzumaki came out, that was Adult Swim, not Toonami, but pretty similar in some respects. We got the dub a couple days after the sub, so Raggedy, I assume we'll have a similarly good dub for you.
I cannot wait.
And there's a lot to be excited. I mean, you have Watanabe, you have MAPPA, you have Chad Stahelski from John Wick, who was the stuntman and coordinator of that, doing a lot of the work here for the action sequence and stuff. That should be cool. The anime will feature a soundtrack from Kamasi Washington, Floating Points, and Bonobo, which all seem pretty solid. So there's a lot, to feel good about. Are you guys excited, or do you just kind of don't care at this point, or you'll believe it when you see it?
I don't know what this is,
Okay.
but I'm
Muted
happy
expectations.
You're happy. It will be like any other anime that has ever been announced.
Gotcha.
If we're going on Mitsugi's tried and true 1 to 5 scale, I'm like a 4.
Okay, so pretty hyped. Pretty much max thrusters, just a little bit of reservation.
Yeah, I mean, my only reservations really are that Toonami has their hands in it, which sometimes is really good, sometimes is really bad. That's really my only, holdout. I like, Watanabe stuff is always fun, always a blast. It's MAPPA, so it's gonna look good. The trailers have, like, the little snippets have all looked good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Raggedy. I'm excited because there's a lot of good people involved that I have trust and belief in, but I could also see this being incredibly disappointing. Like, a couple episodes, it could be cripplingly mid. I'm like, called it, washed up, old news, hack. Like, I could see it being either way, but I've got hopes. I think this will be a return to form, and maybe I'm just optimistic and foolish, but hey, I'll take that. got my hopes up, for better or for worse. So that's my big news. Caroline, what do you have?
All right, I have news that is only big probably just to me. I don't know if anybody else really
Massive.
cares about this, but it's something I am excited for. I probably mention every single time they do this, but the band When OK Rock has announced that it'll be on a North America tour this year to promote their new album with Stand Atlantic as well. They'll be performing in 15 cities in North America between May and June, including the Prudential Center in Newark, which will be very convenient for me. And it'll be on a Friday night, and I'm hyped. Like, I'm getting these tickets. I'm so excited. The band will also perform in Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and Peru in April, and France in July. So I don't know if there are anybody else, or is anybody else, that is fans of One OK Rock other than me, but I hope to see you on tour.
Yeah, I feel like whenever a big either stage show or live production of something comes out, you're the person who gets it in their big news.
Yeah,
this is your
I mean,
forte.
yeah.
Honestly, for how big One OK Rock is, I assumed they would have done more anime openings.
No, they're just not an anime band. They do
Yeah.
a lot of, they are not a lot of, but they have done quite a few live action stuff and video games, I think.
I guess I
And
just see
Beyblade.
them on like the same kind of big stardom kind of thing of like oh my goodness, I'm blanking on everything today. The band that did Riri from Erased.
Asian Kung Fu Generation.
Yeah, like to me they're in like the same like mega stardom Japanese rock
Yeah.
band. But
I would definitely compare them closer to Cold Rain or something like
yeah,
that.
that's fair. But
in terms
even
of their
Cold
style.
Rain did more anime openings.
Yeah. One OK Rock has definitely gotten into more pop English songs as of late. But I don't know. I'm still excited. They're a really good band. And even if you're not like a huge fan of them, I can vouch. I've been to several of their concerts and every single one was so much fun. So I highly recommend if you're just looking for a good time.
What's the song? If someone's like, "Oh, I've never heard One OK Rock because I only listen to anime soundtracks." What's the song to sell me on it?
Their biggest song, like the song they're most known for, is called "The Beginning."
I want
they
the
have a lot of
Caroline recommendation.
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot.
I'm
Mason.
at
There's
the
so
I'm
many-
at the restaurant. I'm asking the waiter or waitress what their favorite is. I don't want to know what the masses get. I want to know.
Oh well, now I'm drawing a blank. Can you give me a second? And like let Raggedy
No,
do his
because
news,
I've
and I'll
been
be
drawing
back.
a blank all episode, and I want to make sure it's not just me who can't think today. No, take your time, think about it, Raggedy.
Okay.
Give us your news,
Yeah.
Caroline.
So-
you have 27 to 39 seconds. Go.
Oh God!
So-
Now I'm feeling even more anxious.
My big of the news of the week is Caroline's a fake fan and can't. I'm just kidding.
That's not true.
My big news is it's pseudo news. It's more about something that's interesting from Viz and what they're doing because they now have a shop that is exclusively for the U.S. and Canada, and it now gives the kind of the North American market opportunity to get official merchandise for a lot of our favorite shows. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I try to find like any anime merch here, it's like all these like third party sellers or like screen printed t-shirts, like not official stuff. And I never can trust any of those like Instagram or
Yeah, it's going to be terrible
ads.
quality. I am going to stop you right there, though. Caroline, time's up. I'm kidding,
Okay,
I'm kidding.
because One OK Rock is a band with a lot of eras. If we're talking like classic One OK Rock, Liar is a good one. Also, Memories, or Onion, or Deeper Deeper. But if we're talking more recent hits, Neon is really good. When They Turn the Lights On has kind of like a Queen vibe to it. And Eye of the Storm. It's really fun.
What a Cheesecake Factory like an answer for that one.
Sorry.
Anyway.
I will. Okay, give me until next time.
20,
I'll do
20
my.
more seconds.
I will do a tier list next time.
Sorry, Raggedy. Continue.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, I'm used to like sifting through all of these like crappy like third hand dealers, and it's either that or like Crunchyroll store is an option. So it's nice to have another source for like real official stuff. It just opened very recently, so their library is not exactly the deepest yet, but they do have quite a bit of shows. They have Bleach, Frieren, One Piece, Naruto, Death Note. They even have like a little more niche stuff like Rooster Fighter and Ruby on there, which was kind of cool. The news item, I guess so to speak, from this is that the big headlining thing they had was a Sailor Moon Monopoly set, which was kind of cool. Which I have a link for in the show notes if you wanna,
Oh,
help
I
us
want to
out.
see this.
Um, my favorite thing on there is sold out. Unfortunately, they made a replica backpack from one of the characters for One Piece, which was really cool looking. I like it when it's not just like a picture of like a character on a T-shirt. Like when they try to do something a little more creative like that. I always enjoy.
Yeah, I
Wish
think this
they
is
would have a better view of what these properties are on the Sailor Moon Monopoly board. Like,
You can see
I
them.
can't really read it.
You need some glasses.
Oh, it's the photo quality.
Oh, it's from yeah. If you go to the actual website, you can pull up the
Oh, okay,
yeah
okay.
yeah
yeah.
I was on the news link.
yeah. I think the Broadway is Queen Serenity, and the first property is like the cats Artemis and Luna. I want to say if my Sailor Moon
You
memory is
got
good.
it correct.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So they do have it up here. Okay,
See,
cool.
I'm not just a shonen freak. I have a little
Oh,
shojo in me.
okay, so it's just the characters. Like, I kind of wish they were a little bit more creative because, they're not. People are not property, okay?
Oh, did not know we were going there today.
No, I'm kidding. But, though, to be honest, I'm not sure what else they would do to differentiate
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Planets, I guess.
well, someone needs to order these shirts to see what the quality is because Uniqlo is still like the gold standard of anime merchandise shirts because those are pretty good quality.
Yes.
That said, they're only the gold standard because there really hasn't been any other competition, and these are looking a little pricey, and I don't know with shipping and stuff, but just that there's other merch that is like licensed and proper stuff makes me feel better than getting it at some third party thing
Random,
that
yeah.
who knows where it's coming from and stuff. So check it out, shop.viz.com. If you're a nerd, if you're a weeb and you're not ashamed of it, like if I was wearing this full print of Naruto Next Generations like t-shirt where like the design goes all over, I don't that's rough. That's rough.
They do have one like polo shirt that's Naruto themed where it's like ramen all over and his face is like on the ramen package.
That's
Like
pretty
they
funny.
have some clever stuff.
Yeah. Check it out. Check it out. Are we ready for our main topic? Are we ready to
All
judge
right.
some anime?
Yeah.
Let's do
I
it.
know I am. We don't have a fancy drop for it, but it is the top 5/bottom 5 of 2024. This was assembled by all of the hosts of this podcast. So if you don't like the results, don't blame us. I mean, partially blame us, but not completely. You know how it is. And where do you guys want to start? At the best shows or the worst shows?
Let's do worst. Then we can build ourselves up. Unless
Okay.
Raggedy, you have a different
Oh no, I
idea.
like that. I wanted to start with maybe a few of our personal like sort of honorable mentions that didn't
Yeah,
make
you
the
can
big
put
list.
out any honorable
Great.
mentions before we get into it if you want. I will say personally, I very much kind of abstained from the worst shows category only because, yes, a lot of the shows I saw were not my favorite and I rated them low. Like there's a whole swath of shows that I dropped an episode or two in that were so not engaging that it was even worth my time to determine how bad they were, you know? So, like,
Fair.
understanding, like, these are the worst shows that we either were forced to watch or, like, that we finished. So, are these the
And
worst
let's
of
also
2024?
remember,
Maybe not, but
now that we've also like diversified the people we have on here, we have also been more selective with the shows that we want to watch. So if somebody has reviewed a show, they are more likely to have actually liked the show.
yeah.
Which
A little bit more likely, at least.
which is really funny because I think all 5 shows, except for one show, all of them were ones I sat and watched through of my own volition for some
See,
reason.
you're a trooper, though. Like, I don't have time to watch Rinkai or, like, High Speed Etoile or, like, that stuff that's just, like, aggressively bad. So, I didn't vote for those because I don't watch them. So there's probably worse stuff out here. So if you like any of these shows, that's your excuse that you can use. You're welcome. You can have that one. But starting from the best worst show. So number 5 and making our way to worst. What do we have first? Because you guys reviewed this one.
Oh, are we doing our honorable mentions first?
Oh yeah,
The
sorry.
ones that are not
We can do the
convinced?
honorable mentions if you
Okay.
want.
But so an honorable mention of one of my best shows that is not appearing on this list overall, and I'm the only one who mentioned it. Oshi no Ko season 2. I thought it was a fantastic season.
We're starting. Oh, we're starting with any honorable mentions. I thought we were starting with the worst honorable mentions.
Sorry, I thought we would just do all the honorable mentions first.
Okay.
Okay, we did not plan this out right. I
No,
guess.
we didn't,
We did
but-
not come to a consensus.
I hope someone else got as much
Sorry.
whiplash.
I'm sorry.
Don to Don really did.
Anyway, what do you two want to do? I'll just follow your lead.
Let's do the worst shows, starting with the worst honorable mentions.
All right, Raggedy, do you want to take this one?
Sure. I will take one that I think I'm the only person on planet Earth who watched this show. The Grim Variations. It was a show on Netflix where they took like weird spins on famous fairy tales. The first episode was interesting enough. It was a spin on Cinderella, where Cinderella's the villain basically. But it's just very weird, and not in like the good Mason weird. It's like weird and like it just I can't even describe, like, because they tried to make each episode completely different to work this whole variation spin, and they go to just some strange places, and it was not worth the watch. Don't watch it.
Well, not only did I not see the show, I've never heard of it until you just brought it up. So you really, that's impressive. Though Cami in the chat says that she watched one episode of it, said it was fine, and didn't want any more. So I think you are validated.
The first episode is the best episode, and it can fool you.
It's the Uzumaki of good shows.
Sad.
Which, honestly, I think you also Otaku had it on his list as one
I
of
had
the
it.
worst shows.
I had it on my list in the
Yeah.
last slot, but just as like more of a honorable mention of. I feel like it had to be mentioned.
Uzumaki was disappointingly bad, whereas like there
Grim
was some
Variations
merit in it in a way that like these others didn't have. Obviously, it had hype and acclaim that it drastically failed to meet, but a worthy honorable mention, I guess we can mention.
Caroline, what's one of your honorable mentions not on the list?
Towards the end of my list, because I didn't actually fill out all 5 boxes that we had here. I only filled out 4 because there was nothing else that I really felt like I really disliked at any major points that I wanted to talk about. So at the bottom of that list, so not so bad, but also not that great, was Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. I just felt like it started off pretty fun, and then it just got dragged down by silly stuff, and I got really, really bored by the end.
Poor Otaku Cop in shambles.
Listen.
Yeah, at least he didn't put it on his top 5.
No.
I might have at one point had shows on my bottom 5 that were on people's top 5, and I felt bad about that, so I deleted them.
Oh, wow. And now I want to know what it was.
That sounds like some after party content right there.
Okay.
Are we ready to get to the official
The actual list? Let's do it.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Starting with number 5. So this is not the worst show, just the worst show. Train to the End of the World. This is from the spring 2024 season. And I did the impressions on this. So I watched the first couple episodes. Didn't hate it. Thought it was fun, but just kind of oddly strange and quirky and dialogue and reference heavy. And it was fine. It just wasn't really pulling me in. But it didn't strike me as aggressively bad. I didn't complete the show. I wasn't there for the reviews. So how did it turn out?
It's been a while since I watched it. I thought generally it was okay. I mean, I did put it on my list. I think I ranked it like 3 or 4. Yeah, 3. It was just okay. Like, it had some promise, and I think that's what kills a lot of shows, that when it has promise and then it doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I didn't watch this one. I listened to the review, and I remember Mitsugi really hated it.
Yeah, I will
Well, that
say
was not gonna be a surprise.
the way I aggregated these scores was very artistic of me. It was more reading tea leaves and like objectively applying numbers to everything, but this was heavily carried by this being Mitsugi's least favorite show by a landslide. And we all know Mitsugi, what his preferences are. This is definitely not a Mits show, so I understand that. But that, coupled with Caroline having it at number 3, made
Oh,
it
sorry, guys.
low on the.
I ruined it.
Yeah, exactly. So, not a terrible show.
It really isn't that bad of a show, to be honest. I didn't really see that much garbage last year, I guess.
And
which is
that's what I'm saying. These shows are the worst shows that we watched, which it's not the end of the world. Who wants to take the next one?
I'll do it.
Yeah,
okay,
you will.
so
You
the
had,
next one on our
you had
list.
this top of your list.
Number 4 is Windbreaker. This was a dumb show that had very little going for it. It had a nice punch animation going for it, and that was basically it. Everything else was paint by numbers and silly.
And I loved it.
Oh, you love it. You love to see it.
This wasn't on my top list, not even close. I don't think it was nearly bad enough to be on the worst list, considering some of the other stuff that we had to.
And I will say, everything else above this, I have not seen. So you are probably correct.
Windbreaker. The biggest problem with Windbreakers is, like you said, it is very paint by numbers. A lot of it's being lifted up by Cloverworks doing a good job with the animation.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I can give Mitsugi credit for, is that he coined the term breaking wind for this anime.
Did he though?
That...
I thought I came up. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You know what?
You know what?
I just assumed that he did. Oh my gosh. Oh well, we can collectively say that we coined that.
Yeah,
then.
The podcast trademark. I really feel like talking about Windbreaker by itself is kind of so-so, but I feel like it pairs very well with the number 3 bottom show, which is Buchigiri. And essentially both of these shows are very similar in a lot of ways. They look visually pretty gorgeous, pretty fantastic. They have great animation, great personality in the animation, the set designs, like the character designs, they all really pop and kind of grab me and are kind of cool, but are just both bolstered by such a kind of boring script, boring writing, boring show that has a kind of potential with this vagabond exploring delinquent sort of fighting crews going around. Like, they're very similar, just one has more of a supernatural slant, but both of them just kind of go astray somewhere along the way, and you just are left feeling kind of dejected and disappointed by like what you got at the end. And once again, as Caroline mentioned, they both had potential, they just didn't deliver anything.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since I mentioned I have not seen this show, and I decided to look up images, why does this guy have a chain growing across the bridge of his nose? Is that a necklace?
Caroline, that's what we in the industry called fashion.
What the frick is that?
This is
he already kind of looks like a weirdo. Like he has the lip like spikes for lip rings, and then he has his tongue sticking out, and
So Caroline, this Buchigiri is directed and essentially done by the same studio director crew who did Skate to Infinity. So everyone there is a very bombastic, cartoonish, larger-than-life figure who is flamboyant and full of energy and just a lot to take in. And when you kind of have that kind of character type, you know what you're getting. And it's just a lot. The show's a lot.
Is the chain like attached to his earrings and that's how it's laying across his
I,
nose? Or is it like just hoisted up and you know when you get bored and you have a necklace on, you're like, let me just like play with it. Let me put it above my lip or my nose or whatever. Is that what he's doing?
I think it's attached to the earrings. I think.
I wonder if this will catch on someday. I
I
don't think
think
so
as well, but
though.
I would need to re-examine. I would need to go look up some fan art or something to assess the contraption design. But yeah, it's
I think the
not
difference maker
terrible.
between Buchigiri and Windbreaker, which makes Buchigiri higher on this list and a show that I actively disliked, is that while Windbreaker is a kind of mid show from a story perspective and character perspective, there's nothing aggressively offensive about any of the characters really. Buchigiri, the main character, is actively hateable. I detested the main character of Buchigiri
Yeah,
thoroughly.
I think more mix on Origin than you were. I get where he's coming from, not wanting to get involved, but he does get pretty infuriating from what I recall. So
Makes
yeah,
sense having it here
yeah, it
above
just also felt a little creepier and skeevier and a little more like assaulty and pervy in a way that doesn't play off my
yeah.
palate that well. So, mm, but I think they're a good group. I'm glad they're bunched together in our ranking, and now we can move on to number two, which is I should be doing the number two drops, but I
Yeah.
that's not
I was
Miz
thinking the
can do
same
it in
thing.
post if he really wants. Who wants to take this? Who even watched more than a couple episodes of this?
Oh, I watched all of our number two choice,
Ooh,
Suicide
excellent.
Squad Isekai. This is exactly what it's labeled on the tin. It's Suicide Squad, but they're isekai. Whoa! And it's not even, unfortunately, it's not the quality of the second Suicide Squad movie. This is like the first Suicide Squad movie, including the same amount of Joker time, which is kind of I didn't even realize put that together until just now that the Joker is like sprinkled slightly throughout the show, the same way as it was in the first movie, where you think he's gonna be something, and when it was advertised as like a selling point, and then he's just not in it.
It's just
It's
enough
a
to tease you.
just enough. It's a bog standard of bog standard isekai stories, with the heroes reskinned to be the Suicide Squad characters. It's not animated particularly great, which is a shame because it was Wit Studio that did it. The writing's not great. The characters, some are okay. Like Harley Quinn's fun because Harley Quinn's always a fun character. Clayface is kind of fun because he is very like he's like the genre savvy character, so he's a little bit fun.
Hmm.
Um, and then, oh god, what's his name? Peacekeeper is like he was in the new movie, but not as good. So it kind of like is that disappointment of that gap from where you've seen it be. Um, the only thing of real redeeming quality for this show is the OP and ED were pretty good. That's about it.
I so this was back in summer. I watched an episode or two for impressions back then. I just remember being let down, and obviously, when I picked it, I knew there was a chance that it was going to be, just a shoe in DC anime crossover, and it did really feel as shallow as that. I had my hopes, like maybe crossovers have been kind of hot these days with stuff like Castlevania or stuff like Cyberpunk. Like those both, I think, are pretty well beloved. So I gave it a chance. It was really just went over as a wet blanket. Even not being super intimate with the Suicide Squad characters and story and modern renditions of it, it didn't really sell me on it. So I think whether you're a fan or not a fan, you were going to be kind of disappointed by going into this one. So yeah, just all the flashy OP animation wasn't enough to realize how bad it looked in the day to day part of the show. So it was pretty crummy. And you had this not the worst on your list, but a lot of other people
Oh no.
didn't think it was very good. So that's why it made the number two spot.
I watched some bad shows, so it wasn't. I actually had Buchigiri above this more because again I just hated that main character so
That's
much.
fair.
But they
Well,
belong on this list, both of them.
yeah. Are we ready to get to, I think, pretty handedly is the AAA Podcast stamp of approval for the worst show of 2024.
Oh, yeah.
You want to take this one, Riggedy? Because you had this front and center on your list.
Oh, yeah. This was number one on my list. It was number one on Otaku Cop's list, too. And I think it was high up on your list, right, Mason?
I mean, it was the highest on my list, but with my like very vague rating system. But yeah.
And absolutely nowhere on Lady Emery's list. Let's just remember.
You know what? Okay. So it's My Dear Friend Nokutan is our number one worst show. Beyond the normal issues with this show, what we talked about in the review, the animation not being good, the jokes not really landing, the way it's structured just making absolutely no sense when it should have been short instead of a full season. I still have my own personal vendetta against the show because after I was finished watching with it, my child kept asking for the stupid fucking show for like another month.
Was she also going, Noko, Noko, Dan, Dan?
No.
Talk about another show where the OP was the best part of it.
Also another show
Yeah.
where the OP was... Yeah. No. She would point at the TV and say, "Deer, more deer, please." I was like, please, let it end. Let it stop.
How old is your girl again?
She's 2.5 now.
Oh, you should never have shown her that.
I think she
what
would
were
have
you
taste
thinking?
by that age, but I guess.
No, she watches One Piece. She has no taste.
That's fair. It's been driven out of her.
Yeah, I saw a couple episodes of Nokotan. I had it pretty high on my list for impressions when it came out, just because it seemed like it could be fun if it was done right. By the first couple episodes, I'm like, I am not... Like, it has to hook me, and it didn't have a hook. It just had a lot of craziness, and it wasn't particularly well done. So I just never picked it up again, and I avoided that review. I did not want to be there for it.
You made the right choice.
Yeah, so like this is the token brain rot, shit meme show of the season, and I get that that's not for everyone. It's a comedy style that is not going to resonate with everyone. But even the show that did something similar in Pop Team Epic still flexed enough creativity and talent in the animation and voice acting and different elements of it that even when I wasn't vibing with the humor of it, I could at least appreciate what it was going for or how it was challenging the mold or something beyond just haha CG deer and the same tropes recycled with some of the worst characters I've ever seen. So yeah, I'm sure there's some people who really live and die by Nokotan, and I get that. I'm happy for you. But there's shows that do this kind of comedy vastly superior, and I would rather have just watched that instead. So, is it the worst show of 2024? Yes, we just proved it was. But if you think another show is worse, remember to vote in our AAA Podcast Oscars, where we have the esteemed Pooper Scooper Award, and that, chosen by thousands of you guys, carries much more weight than our little list here. So, once again, go vote before you forget. I mean, we'll remind you every week, but just do it. Just get it off your plate.
I think we should at least give Nokotan props where it's really worth, because out of all the shows on this list, no other was able to create just as many memes as Nokotan did. None of these shows came close to the memes.
I mean, even outside the memes, Nokotan at least is memorable. Like 5 years from now, when you're going to ask me like, hey, name something in Windbreaker, I'll be like, the guy had two-toned
The
hair.
heterochromia with two-tone hair?
But he also had two-toned eye. Like, maybe that. But, like, there's no point or element of it I'll remember. Like, Nokotan, as unfunny as it was, at least I will be like, haha, CG deer. I remember when that happened. And that girl who ate all the freaking rice. Like, at least it has some cultural currency, even if it is pretty much worthless. So that's the olive branch that I will extend.
I won't. Let's move on to good shows.
Let's go to some positivity. And now, Caroline, honorable mentions, aka all the shows that I put on my list that no one else put on their list because A, they didn't watch them, or B, I have the worst taste ever. Because pretty much every show I put on here, no one else had in a country mile of their top 5. But let's start, Caroline. Oshinoko Season 2.
Okay.
This was
Yeah.
good.
In case you guys are surprised, yes, Oshinoko Season 2. You had no idea, right? So that's the only show on my list that did not make it into the top 5. I just want to I just think it was like a really good sequel. Like it didn't rest on the laurels of what made the first season good. It expanded on things. Characters were developed. It's setting up for a pretty good sequel season 2. I've sung them the praises quite a bit in the past, especially in that review, so I don't want to go on for too long. But yeah, definitely a good show of this year.
I was trying to avoid all sequels on my list here. And so, for the record, the parameters we had for making these lists was shows that began and ended in 2024. So when you go to vote for the Oscars, Frieren will be eligible because it didn't end until 2024, and we didn't vote on it last year. But we didn't put Frieren on like our best list here because it didn't start in 2024. Don't worry about it, just clearing that up. But
Complicated,
yeah, a lot of sequel shows like the latest Monogatari, Sound Euphonium Season 3, like those are long running stuff, and I didn't think they needed more time in the sun with our list here because if you already like them, you already know that, and I was trying to get the new stuff. That said, Oshinoko, while not making my list, I was very pleasantly surprised with Season 2. I was coming in expecting it to be like a step down, more of the same, just not really worth the hype and all the stuff that it had been garnering, and I thought it was quite solid. I liked what it did most of the time, and I was like, yeah, Season 3, let's do it. So I'm with you, Caroline. Good show.
And honestly, if I didn't put my kind of cheese pick on here, Oshinoko would have made my list too.
There we go.
Speaking of my cheese
yeah,
pick.
let's hear your cheesy picks.
So I have one cheesy pick and one legitimate pick. My cheesy pick, which was my number 1 show of 2024, it was a single episode OVA it was One Piece fan letter. It was great. It was directed by Megumi Ishitani. Yes, that's her name. So people who know, they know. She only does like a few random episodes of One Piece, and they're everyone's favorite episodes. She got her own little side spin-off thing. It looks amazing. It is the top-rated anime for 2024 on both Mal and AniList. Some of that is probably, One Piece fans being One Piece fans, but it's higher rated than all the other One Piece stuff. So people really did jive with it. My less cheesy real thing, I put Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. I know you have to be someone who's stuck with all of Bleach to get 2,000-Year Blood War, but it is really freaking good.
Why didn't Emery put that on her list?
Well, probably because we're talking about it for Shonen Showdown this month. Tune in for that.
Man, but if she
Mason,
really liked
why
it...
did you leave your... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't have anything
I was wondering why you left your number 3 spot blank.
So... my number 1 show of the year is what we're going to be reviewing in a bit. Not this episode, but in a couple episodes, which I have not finished yet, to be fair. But it is Dead Dead Demon Day Destruction, because that show is awesome and unique and a ton of fun and wild and makes you think, and I'm very excited to do the review of it. My second favorite show of the year so far is the one that everyone fell asleep to, which is Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary, with the hot chocolate mysteries that everyone just conked out to. And my number 3 favorite show of the year, I also haven't finished because it's not over with, but that's Orb, Movements of the Earth, which is fantastic. Love the writing in it. Yes, the animation is not going to wow you, but it's just so freaking awesome. But it did end in 2024, but I didn't want to give another show that spot. So my number 4 show, I skipped ranking a number 3 because... spite, who knows? So that's why there's blanks in my thing. So any other honorable mentions, aka personal picks that were like crying out to be like, no, I have good taste, audience?
No, I've revealed my shitty taste.
Okay, perfect. Well, then let's begin with the number 5 show according to the podcast hosts of 2024. Caroline, what is it?
It's Yatagarasu! Woo! It made it!
It made it, for sure. And I think it would have been higher had
Yeah.
more people watched it, I would argue. Because I feel like, Raggedy, have you
Yeah.
watched Yatagarasu?
I watched all of it. It's great.
Yeah.
It is quite good. I think the reason it didn't make my list is because it like the ending of the season is weirdly vague where they're obviously like able to do more, but I don't know if they're gonna get more. It's like one of those things where it's like uh, it didn't have enough of a conclusion to me, or didn't have a immediate like, oh, we're coming out with more for me to say like, oh yeah, I'm all in on this. That's the only thing holding it back for me.
Yatagarasu was strange with its ending because it had a perfect ending point and then kept on going a bit. So you like felt satisfied, and then it like did a drastic lane shift and told another, I'd still say compelling story, but it was just very different in mood and atmosphere and pacing. And it kind of threw you for a loop, and then it ended and you're like, well, I got more than I expected, so that was good. But also it wasn't like a nice clean, the day is saved right off into the sunset. So that could have fuzzled with some people, but overall it came out of nowhere, no expectations, and really blew me away with doing a lot of things really well.
Yeah, I just feel like it kept on adding like interesting points to it. Like, not only is it a fantasy show with people that can turn into birds, or sorry, birds that can turn into people and usually stay as people, but then they have a whole social class system where some of the birds stay in their form as slaves to these other birds that want to stay in their human form as sort of a class hierarchy thing. And then you like there are so many plot twists on top of that kind of reveal that the world is so much bigger and more complicated than you really think it is. And like this is all like it's not just a bird show, guys. There's a lot to it. So I think
if you haven't checked it out and you're a big fan of like political interplay and like twists and undercutting and court drama and action and mystery, like it just has a lot of everything, and it actually fits together on the plate pretty well. Don't miss out. Watch Yatagarasu if that sounds like it's up your alley, and consider it for the Oscars if you're gonna vote.
But the full name of it is, in case you're confused, it's Yatagarasu, the Raven does not choose its master. So if you type in Yatagarasu and you're not sure which one it is, it's that one.
There you go. Moving on with a show that probably no one has ever heard of, but it's Solo Leveling.
What?
Solo
who?
Leveling? I don't know how to pronounce it. But Solo Leveling from all the way back of winter, so a year ago, and I know people are going to be confused and think they're voting for Solo Leveling Season 2, which is currently airing. No, this is the OG Solo Leveling. It actually is qualified because it came out in 2024, which seems like a bajillion years. I wasn't the biggest fan, but you guys can tell the listeners why it was so good.
It's just good popcorn. It's show. Like it's buttery, it's salty, it's how popcorn needs to be. But it's not at all adding any nutritional value to your watching.
Yeah.
So it's a fine show. It's such an easy watch. Surprisingly, it was not Mitsugi who put the show over the top on this list, though. It was Kaiten. He put it as his number one
that
pick.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Mitsugi had it as his number 3.
But yeah, this is a Michael Bay movie turned anime, right? This is Bad Boys 2. You turn your brain off, you watch the pretty colors, and they are some real pretty colors.
The production is good. Like, let's not pretend it's not.
I mean, let's not pretend it is, but we can get into that another day.
Okay, Mason,
Solo Leveling is not my thing,
elitist.
But it's well beloved. It's very popular. It scratches the itch that people come to those kind of shows for, and people are enjoying season 2. So like it's living up to.
It does its job.
It does its job. Yeah, it's the type of show it needs to be that it's trying to be, and I'm glad for Solo Leveling fans, and they're getting more of it. So keep it coming. Next up, number 3 on the top shows, which kind of surprised me, but it didn't make anyone's number 1 show, but it popped up a lot across the board. What is it, Caroline? Because it's on your list.
is Kaiju number 8. Which, I mean, I feel like it didn't reach the heights that we kind of expected it and wanted it to, but it's just a solid show. It's fun. It has some pretty decent, fun characters, even though the main character is my least favorite. But yeah, I mean, it's just a fairly decent show, and I'm would be hyped for a season 2.
I think season 1 is very much a stage setting, getting you used to the
Mm-hmm.
characters in the world, and like the
Yeah.
crazy, like it could definitely become a much crazier show leading into a second season. I think that's probably why it's more middling on our list, on our top list, is that it's good, and again, it does its job well. It does the shonen punch 'em up stuff with a little bit of an extra zest or flavor. It definitely gets more into like the gory, horror-y kind of stuff, which is always fun. But yeah, I think season 2 is what could put it more over the top.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, if the season 2 is probably just more of the same, doesn't really go much further, the opinion of it will probably drop for me.
Yeah, it's tough. It's season 1 of a shonen. I mean, stuff like My Hero Academia, even itself, which breaks things up into seasons, has those 2 core things to really get the ball rolling. And at the end of the day, like Caroline said, Kaiju number 8 was kind of disappointing because I thought the manga came out so strong and I liked the premise of the older main character, blah, blah, blah. And it just didn't really hit that itch for me. But it still was a very competently done shonen. It was fun to watch. The world seems really interesting. I want to know more about how it works and how they're going to function within it. So it's a good time. I don't mind that spot. Number 2.
Great.
And a show, once again, going all the way back to winter. And this was a 2-core show that felt like forever ago. Delicious in Dungeon Meshi. Trigger is back.
Yeah, I just feel like with
it's in
this
the dungeon.
show, it was just such a surprising hit for me because I knew that it was critically acclaimed going into it, but knowing that it was more slice of life than otherwise, I was thinking, okay, it'll be a nice show, but not an interesting one. But it was surprisingly very interesting and entertaining.
Delicious in Dungeon is what happens when you have someone, excuse me, when you have a creator actually put time and thought into not just the character or the basic story, but the entire functioning of the world around the story and characters. That's what makes it stick, I think, more in people's minds, is how well crafted the dungeon is, how the ecosystem works, how the like
The characters playing off each other, that was
yeah,
big.
it's more than a lot more thought is put into this. A lot of care is put into every aspect of the show, and Trigger also did a really good job adapting it and animating it.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. It sounds gorgeous. Just the atmosphere is awesome. And I talked about moments ago, oh, Kaiju number 8 has an interesting world. I like seeing how stuff functions within it. But when you compare it to something like Delicious in Dungeon, it's such another level of the intricacies and the whole consideration of the package that Raggedy was talking about that makes it feel so immersive and entrancing for every new room they encounter. It all kind of winds together. It's this whole ecosystem more than just a backdrop. And that really sold me. And I kind of didn't vibe with the show at the beginning. I thought some of the characters, not going to name names, but you know who it is if you remember our talks on it, kind of annoyed me, kind of were aggravating. But like the world, like the characters, I just eventually warmed up to them all and really had a good time with the show. It's very meticulously produced and thought of and just really earned the praise that it deserves. So I'm definitely glad with this one being at the top of the list almost.
All right, and with that, I feel like number 1 is not a surprise to literally anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
Another show, the best part about it is the OP, but also the rest of the show. What is it, Caroline?
It's Don Da Don.
Yeah.
Obviously. All right, we're done here. No, okay. Well, we haven't been able to review this yet, so I don't know how much we can go into without spoiling what
just
we'll
general
say.
Positive sentiments, if you want to give anything. I mean, I don't think anyone right now is like, Don Da Don, you say. I haven't.
What is?
Is that like Yatagarsu? I haven't heard of that. I should check it out before voting in the Oscars. Plug.
I think the number one thing that really hit with Dandadan for me is the characters. Like, the characters are just so fun, and it feels refreshing. I don't like their interactions with each other. Is like even if it wasn't involving a plot with aliens and spirits and supernatural powers and talking cat dolls, etc., I would just want to watch these two main characters interact, no matter what the plot was.
I feel like they're annoying in a way that high schoolers are annoying, and not in a way that some anime writer was like, oh, let's have this person be kind of grating. It was like, no, a 15-year-old pipsqueak kid probably would whine about this, or like make faces at this girl, or run around the room naked and just be goofy. Like, they feel in this world, like you said, of supernatural oddities and craziness. There's a sense of realism and groundedness in how the characters are portrayed, how they act, how they bounce off each other, that makes the action scenes and the nonsense scenes both just kind of riveting in a way, with phenomenal animation, great soundtrack, just all this really great, once again, similar to Delicious in Dungeon, just great world building and production that just makes you feel like, yeah, this is fun. As Raggedy said, bit of a ending, but more is to come, and I don't think it diminished it enough in a lot of people's eyes to take it away from being the top spot.
Yeah.
No, this is what peak shonen looks like. This is Science Saru knocked it out of the park. I cannot remember. Well, I can remember, I guess, but it's been a very long time since I have watched a battle shonen that has made me super hyped over the action and then also cried like a little baby.
When he with the testicles, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. Okay, just making sure it's the
I
same
felt
thing.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Were you crying over the
That
science mannequin finding his love?
No, I was cheering. Okay, for that one. And oh my god, that sequence was also great.
Yeah.
Dandadan's so good. Just watch it. Watch Dandadan. Vote for it for the Oscars.
You don't even have to watch the show. Just like watch the opening and you're hooked.
Anyway,
it's so good.
Thank you for sitting with us. Hopefully you check out some of those shows if you haven't yet, because they are probably pretty good. And make sure to vote. AAAPodcast.com. I'm going to remind you every week, unless I'm not here and someone else will. But don't let it get away from you, because it'll close in like a month, and you'll be like, oh, I should have voted. But no, don't put that on yourself. Just do it. You'll feel better, and it'll be good. We'll have a fun time. It's a good show.
And one last thing, if you want to see a full breakdown of how we ranked our shows, it's linked in our show notes. If you want to get a full view.
Hint, plug.
rankings.
I guess we'll leave it in there.
Oh, you were going to delete that?
Maybe. I did it more for us, but we'll leave it in
not
there.
Anymore.
We'll see if people can find it.
Or we could just copy paste it
We'll copy and
later
paste it
or
in
something.
There. Yeah, we'll do something. Check out the
Okay.
show notes. You can get our individual bad tastes. And with that, I think we have a trivia question.
Yay, trivia.
Who's reading?
Who wants to read it?
I always want to read the
you
trivia
got
question.
this.
Go ahead, Raggedy.
From Ameku M.D. What famous detective is the inspiration for Kimiyasu Sakurai? Find out after the news break.
This is Mason, and this is your news break for episode 763 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. First up, we have another merging of studios. Studios Production IG and Signal M.D will be merging, with Production IG becoming the surviving company and Signal M.D being dissolved. This merger will take effect on June 1st, which marks the start of the new fiscal year for the companies. The reason for the merger was to effectively use the management resources of both companies to improve the profitability of the overall group. And personally, I hope it is also to help the staff there from being stretched too thin across multiple commits and projects. Signal M.D has produced anime such as Napping Princess, Recovery of an MMO Junkie, The Fire Hunter, and much more, with the most recent being Nina, the Starry Bride. Overall, since both studios are subsidiaries of a larger company and have already been working together on projects for a couple seasons, I'm not expecting a huge change to come of this, but it does align with a lot of changes we've seen across the industry over the past couple years. And I'm interested if we can notice anything that comes out of it from a consumer standpoint. And finally, if you are a fan of physical media and old school anime, hold on to your diapers, as Discotek Media revealed 24 new upcoming releases during a recent event. I don't have the time or patience to go through all of them, but here are the highlights that will be coming to Blu-ray in 2025. And I want to put out a challenge for folks who have been trying to watch some old anime but don't really know where to start. Just randomly pick one of these, just without knowing much about it, going as blind as possible. Just see if you can find a stream of this and start watching, see how it treats you. It might not be good, but it will be an adventure nonetheless. First, the 3-episode OVA Cyborg 009 vs. Devilman, which will include the English dub, celebrating its 20th anniversary, all 50 episodes of Angel Heart with English subtitles. If you want something from the 90s, all 42 episodes of Flame of Recca will be coming, along with an Ocean Studios produced English dub. And if you like English dubs and want an awesome movie to check out, try Space Adventure Cobra, the movie. This will be a dub-only release, which is interesting because due to television standards in the UK, it was dubbed at 25 frames per second, as opposed to the normal 24. So if you used the Japanese audio with it, it wouldn't sync properly. And if you do want to check out the Japanese dub or one of the other dubs, they have released this in other formats previously. Next up is Vivid Strike, which will not only include all 12 episodes in Japanese with English subtitles, but it will include next episode previews, promos, and TV commercials, so you can really get the full experience. Though this doesn't come with the bonus OVAs or Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha Vivid, because it's with a different licensor, and they couldn't come to an agreement with them, unfortunately. Next, if you're feeling a little dark and edgy, they are releasing all 26 episodes with English subtitles and the English dub of Higurashi When They Cry. And if you're feeling a bit more ecchi than edgy, all 12 episodes as well as an unaired episode of Dare S, also with the English subtitles and English dub. But probably the biggest one of all, and the one that Mitsuki certainly is feeling some sort of way about, it's Urosuki Doji, Legend of the Overfiend. A very adult anime, which is presented now uncut with a brand new 2K scan and restoration that took almost 9 months to complete. Restored from one of the last remaining 35mm prints of the series, the release will also include all 3 episodes in the subtitle-only standard definition version and the 1989 compilation film versions, so you are getting your fiendish fill of this series if you want to. Well, that will do it for the news break. Appreciate you sticking with me, and now let's get back to the show.
So you're at the gym, feeling great and looking great too, I might add. That is until your favorite podcast ends. Now, without your headphones, you're suddenly lost in the wilds of Meatland. Oh! Don't get lost in the wilds of Meatland. Get the AAA Podcast extra content. We'll help you gain some fun times with our hobby addicts, after parties, and hentai episodes. Nothing gets your blood pumping quite like hentai, and nothing helps the podcast quite like your support. So head over to AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon to support the show. Again, that's AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon. Bro, sounds like you need a spot from the AAA podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. Following that oh so delightful news break, when we last left you, we had a trivia question from Ameku M.D. What famous detective is the inspiration for Kimiyasu Sakurai? A big hint for people watching live where they could see who this character looks like, because it's quite obvious. If you know, you know. It's Columbo.
I did think that he looked a little familiar, but I did not put two and two together when I was watching this.
No, that's fine. It was, I mean, personality-wise, maybe not quite there, but it was very funny. So, good call. Thank you, Raggedy, for the excellent trivia question. And with that, let's go on to our mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag.
Let's have Caroline read this because I messed up.
All right. So this one is coming from the Eggman. If you would also like to submit a mailbag, you can do so at AAAPodcast.com. And they say, "Hi, AAA folks. First time writing in. I had a question today that I couldn't think of a single answer for. What's the best non-romantic male-female rivalry in anime?" This is tough because I literally looked through my anime list and I'm looking through each show that I have at least a fairly decent score on, because why would I make mention of anything less? And I wondered, does Fujiko Mine and Lupin count, since the romance is mostly one-sided?
No, they definitely have a very romantic thing going on.
Okay, so that doesn't count. And I'm at a loss. I have nothing. I don't know why there are no male-female rivalries without at least romantic undertones. Like, there are some that are not full-on romance, but they're being shipped. Everybody's shipping them anyway.
That's the thing. There's always some romantic people that are gonna like apply that ship, but it's you gotta go with the intent of like what the show is going for.
Is the production shipping them?
Exactly.
Because usually they are. That's what I meant. Yeah.
I knew this was going to be a tough question because I know the Eggman from Annilist, and they have watched a ton of shows, and they have impeccable taste. So if they couldn't come up with something, I knew I was done for. That said, I briefly kind of perused my lexicon, my Rolodex of anime, and you can get a lot of like side rivalries when it's with like side characters, characters that aren't a primary person, so they kind of compete, but not in the show doesn't give them the time to have a romance. And I feel like you kind of see slim inklings of this with shows like Bakuman, Ping Pong, maybe even a bit with like Frieren or Fullmetal Alchemist. But I think the one I'm landing on to answer this question is I went with characters that are like too dense or not social enough to know that like romance is an option. Like those characters that are so, either dumb or whatever that like they don't even consider like a normal relationship like that. So I'm going with, from the show Gintama, Kagura and Okita. These are two just like unbelievably strong characters that just don't realize that romance is a thing, kind of. So like even though people kind of ship them, I don't think they feel like they're in a romance, even if they're kind of whatever. So that's my cowardly answer. Gintama, there you go.
I had to dig into the shonen brain rot because if someone's gonna mess up a romance and just forget to put it in, it's gonna be someone who's writing shonen. They are more of the smaller parts though. So like Soul Eater has Black Star and Maka that have a little bit of a rivalry going on. It's not a main focus, but it's there. One Piece has Big Mom and Kaido, who are two of the four emperors from One Piece. So their rivalry does kind of span a big chunk of the show, but they don't get a lot of time sort of face to face with each other. It's like a rivalry of position more so than anything else. Someone in the Twitch actually caught one of the ones I had here, which is Natsu and Urza from Fairy Tail. They have a bit of a strong rivalry. They're always trying to fight. There is no romance between them whatsoever. They have their own separate romantic partners, couplings that they do. But again, not a major part of the show. So the one I picked as like the best one is from Food Wars. Soma Yukihira and Erina Nakira.
Arena Nakiri.
Thank you. There are some sort of romantic undertones, I guess, there, but I did double check. It is confirmed that they are not in any way a couple and don't.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought they ended up becoming a couple by the end.
No, he goes off and becomes like a wandering chef.
They're definitely romance undertones, though. I
thought it was 100% confirmed that they got together.
I double checked before I put this on here. They don't.
It doesn't
okay, so
feel
they actually
right.
don't.
So...
That's a good pick. But there is still some romantic undertones.
There's definitely romantic undertones.
Yeah.
But,
so
I will say. Sorry. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
I'd say the reason I put it as the best is that it is like a major driving part of the show is him basically trying to impress her with his cooking, and their like constant sort of rivalry. That's why it's, I guess, the best. But
even if characters don't get together or they are one-sided, there still is a romantic connection. Like even Naruto, like yeah, sure, he doesn't get with the girl he's maybe pining for at the beginning, but like there definitely is a rivalry, but there definitely is that romantic slant to it. So
sure.
I honestly think this probably would have been a fun like discussion, just rivalries in general for a main topic.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's been done before. But I did think of one when I was trying to come up with an answer before, but I feel like the rivalry is such a it's hardly a rivalry, but they have this one fight that kind of puts them into a rivalry-like relationship, and that would be in My Hero Academia, Bakugo, and Ochako. So they have like one fight and that kind of puts them against each other, and it does help them progress in different ways for a short time, I guess. So technically kind of a rivalry, and there's absolutely no romantic undertones between the two of them, so...
no, those are between.
But that's all we got. This is all we got. There is hardly any good answers for this.
Yeah, like Raggedy said, you get like positional kind of rivalries. Like I'm thinking the student council from stuff like Kill la Kill, where all the 3-star Goku uniform people are kind of, elbowing each other out for the top spot in that kind of rivalry way, but they're all still on like a team. So it doesn't feel like, capital R rivalries. So, good question.
What about Chika and what's his face, the emo guy from Kaguya? Chika and him.
That's just bullying.
That show is 100% bullying and 100% romance. You just don't know it yet. Yeah. No, good question. Thank you, people.
Yeah, that was a head scratcher.
For missing anything. We probably could spend all day trying to look up this kind of stuff, but that's
all I
hard.
kept on seeing was like really, really good rivalries, but between same-sex rivalries, or rivalries that do have romantic undertones,
or same-sex and romantic undertones. The best.
Hey, let's go.
With that, let us play the drop for the moment you have all been waiting for.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it!
Round 2, Winter 2025 Impressions. This is where we go through the first couple episodes of all the shows that have come out this year, decide which ones are the most valuable, the ones we want to review, and we pass them. And when we pass them, when we lock them in, when we say that's that good stuff, we will be doing a review when the show completes. We're going to pass 6 of them. Not all today, maybe some yesterday, like in the case of Solo Leveling Season 2 and Bang Dream.
Last week.
Last week, thank you.
Time is a circle.
And we're going to do a couple more episodes after this, so this is not the be-all end-all. But at the end of all our impressions, we're going to have 6 shows that we're going to pass, that we'll do the review on, and then we will open it up to you, listeners, for you to vote in the last 3 shows. And you know where people can go to vote for that? AAAPodcast.com. That's the same site where you vote for the Oscars. Oh my goodness. It's a one-stop
So many
shop.
things to do.
You could even find links to the Discord. You could find links to submit mailbags like you just heard. It's just go there. You're all set. You're Gucci. But yeah, we got 5 shows on the docket today. We will see how many make the cut. And first up, it's I Have a Crush at Work.
Or
Raggedy, take it away.
Or can you keep a secret?
Yeah.
Depending on how you look it up.
Both of them are absolutely terrible titles. Like, why was it between these two?
They're like together. They make up like a long isekai title that does say the name of the show. I have a crush at work that I need to keep a secret.
And you keep secret.
But which one do we like more? Yes. Which title do we like more?
I like Can You Keep a Secret.
I think I Have a Crush at Work works better than Can You Keep a Secret.
I like Can You Keep a Secret better.
Oh, this is already butting heads. But lay it on.
Okay, actually, no, you're right. I feel like Can You Keep... Because at first I was like, that doesn't really have much to do with like what actually happens, but it is, a lot of it is the girl trying to keep a secret.
It's definitely more...
So I guess you're right. You're right.
Well, to continue being right, let me tell you about the studio. It's Studio Blade. Which I don't really know much about.
I've never heard of them.
Where you can watch it, well, it was supposed to be on Hulu, supposedly. I had to find it on the high seas.
I also.
So maybe it'll come out on Hulu at some point. As far as a synopsis, Yui Mitsuya and Masugu Tataishi are coworkers.
Very strange name.
Yes, they are coworkers in a relationship, but they want to keep it a secret from everybody else. And that's basically the show. It's these two characters that are just got the hots for each other and don't want anyone else to know about it, and the shenanigans that ensue.
Yeah, that's
so those shenanigans
summary.
Is basically the girl being a tsundere because she doesn't know what else to do to keep this a secret. Like, she cannot do anything else but create a toxic work environment for him. Yeah. That's the only thing that she could do.
Yeah, I mean, there's... I want to say that there is something fresh about this show in that it is adults in a full-on relationship that it's not a spoiler. It's like the very first opening of the show, you find out they are in a relationship.
And they're in bed together.
You get some of the high school, like, hokey stuff that you're used to from rom-coms, but it's definitely cranked up more to an adult level as far as, like, the problems they deal with. And, you know, it's not as much of the, oh, he brushed past my hand. Does that mean he wants to hold it? It's much less of that and much more of the, oh, we got locked in the storeroom together and we do want to make out, but we just don't want anyone else to know about it.
That violates OSHA and company policies. No, this show is aggressively fine. Like, it does fix, like Raggedy said, a lot of common complaints. Older characters, workplace instead of a school, they're in the relationship already, and there is, like, some physical intimacy. It's not, like, on screen for, like, a titillating sense, but, like, there is that component there. And they use kind of a passable excuse of the gossip of, you know, the office and, like, not wanting to disrupt their jobs or the kind of roles and positions they have within them to have this, to disguise the fetish of, oh, we can't in public share it. And there's some cute fake outs. There's something enjoyable and fresh about it, but you know where this show is going. Like, it's an inevitable arc of people slowly figuring out that they're actually in a relationship, but they're in a good relationship and it's okay. So they're also gonna keep the secret, and the secret, quote unquote, is probably just gonna grow until pretty much everybody knows. And then it's like I've seen this show, but it still feels good in anime because we haven't seen 1,000 like it.
I mean, I like some of the more flirtatious moments. It's nice. The characters are not for me. Like, they're just so bland, and, like, especially the guy. The guy's main character point that they have pointed out so far is that he's overly considerate of others. Like, wow, what an idea, what a concept. That is
Put
the
that in
number
your Tinder
one.
profile. I'm considerate.
That is the
overly.
That is overly considerate. That is the number one personality trait of all male protagonists in anime.
And he's extremely
so
goo goo gaga over her. Like, everything she does, he's like I get that there's the honeymoon.
Oh my god.
The honeymoon phase of a relationship, but it's just very extreme to the point of, like,
yeah,
he's a boiling tea kettle they both are, of just like, their emotions are just going to run wild and they just can't hold it in because they're just so in love. And it's fine. It's cute. Like, if you like a romance show, it's a solid pick, but it's a little...
And I know that you said that you can see why they want to keep it a secret for like all the gossip. I still feel like it's a little too contrived. Like, the gossip is not made, like, they show a little bit at the beginning why it could be a problem, but it does not seem pervasive enough to be that big of a risk.
Yeah,
no, it's just an initial gimmick.
I mean, they could have literally just made it a company policy, and that would have solved the problem.
A company policy would make so much more sense. Like, why didn't they just do that? Yeah, and it's so friggin' obvious. Like, they're together at a movie theater, like, miles away from their office, and they're seen by a coworker, and he thinks that's a coincidence? So, yeah, it's that kind of stuff. It's fine. It's a fine show. If you're really, really itching for a romance, especially if it's, like, post-high school romance, then I think it's fine to watch, if you can watch it, that is.
I'm with you. I guess I don't mind the gossip as the gimmick, because I think the point is that the can you keep a secret is not for the two main characters. It's for all the people that will find out about it. And it's not trying to avoid company policy. It's avoiding all the other people who might make a thing of it. And I think they need to make it more of a thing, make it more of a risk to have that pay off logically. But I think that's where it's going to come in, and that's why they need to keep it a secret. I get it, but like you said, it's fine. It checks the boxes, but it's not so like exemplary where I'm like, we got to talk about this. We got to review the intricacies of them being in an elevator together, but not being able to hold hands without blushing. Like, I think we can pass this as in not review it.
We can pass this as a fail. No.
Yeah.
But I know they mentioned this kind of as like an offhanded joke almost. I also kind of wish that they had maybe not just the company's policy. If they had to do something else other than that, the kink idea is actually kind of funny. Like, they just like to keep it a secret as a kink. I don't mind that idea either.
I mean, that's that's really the veiled point of the show, is to be like, you can't say it in public, but you can be super different in the bed. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah,
I think we should quote that, Mason. What a quote for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fun. I'm going to continue watching it, but I don't think it's worth discussing. Is how I would phrase it. Like, it's not worth this, like, devoting a review to. But I think if anyone, like you said, if anyone's looking for a romance that maybe is a little different than what you're used to kind of spice things up a little bit, this is worth watching.
Yeah, I'd agree. All concur, fail. I have a crush at work.
Yep. Fail.
I concur.
Well, because it's work, we got to do this drop.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
A show with a very similar premise at times. Moving on. Caroline, what's next?
All right. Next up, we have Zenshu, which is being done by Studio Mappa. It's available on Crunchyroll. And the general synopsis is Natsuko Hirose, who is a genius animator and director, gets isekai'd into her favorite anime from her childhood, A Tale of Perishing, which is like a fantasy world with heroes trying to defeat evil monsters intent on destroying the world. So I came into the show with pretty high expectations. I thought the PV looked pretty good. And basically, like, her beginning problem is that she's starting work on another anime and she's feeling the pressure of living up to the expectation because her previous work was so highly viewed. But it's a romance anime movie and she does not really know what to do with it. So then she dies from eating a bad lunch or something. And she's
was it like a
isekai'd
clam?
into her favorite movie.
Yeah, it's like some seafood. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this isekai'ing into her favorite childhood anime, you are expecting that to be the thing that's going to help her through her problem, which is trying to animate this movie. That's what I was expecting. That this was a temporary isekai to help her figure out how to develop this romance movie. but this type of world is not going to help her with that, I don't think. And honestly, I'm not sure if she's going to get isekai'd back at any point. So I'm not sure where this is going, to be honest. It's an original anime, so I don't think anybody's knowing where this is going.
Most importantly, Captain Avatar corrected us. It's a bed oyster, not clam. So there you go.
Very important. That's why you have to be That's why you have to be here live on the Twitch.
Yeah,
to correct us.
So what do you guys think?
This show has had me scratching my head
Me too.
since like minute one because I do not know what to make of it. It feels like it is trying to say something, but I don't know what it is yet. It looks really good. There's a lot of really cool like call outs to other stuff. Like there's references to like Nausica and Sailor Moon and Macross and Frieren and even from the guy Zorg from the Fifth Element like shows up at one point. And that's only in the first 4 episodes. I can't tell if it's being overindulgent with itself about like the hardworking animator who's like working a soul crushing job but is now using their animation skills to save their favorite thing. But then it's tough because I don't know where it's going. I watched 4 episodes because I felt like I needed every second of
Yeah,
it to
me too.
figure out what to do with it. And like episode 4 ends, and it ends at a point where you're like, well, you don't even possibly know where it could go. Like it
Yeah.
theoretically could wrap the story at episode 4, so I don't know what they're doing with this.
On one hand,
the issue sorry.
No, go ahead.
The issue they brought up in episode 4 was very interesting. But they decided to fix the problem in episode 4 when I feel like it should have been I should feel like this issue should have been padded out for longer because it is a very intense issue and they're resolving of that issue while very funny and creative. It's not for this world, I don't think.
So I haven't watched as many episodes of you guys, but I've heard all this kind of talk of anime fans who are like, "Oh, I don't know how to feel about it." Like I'm just like yelling at these people who like, "Oh, just because for once you get a show that isn't the exact sugar-coated flavor of isekai blueberry that you've been gulping down for decades, you're like, "Oh, how should I feel about it? I've never tasted this flavor before. What should I think? I've never." And I get it. And I'll tell you how you should feel. It's decent. It's okay. Like I'm with you all the way. You expect it to be leaning into this, and it's kind of just moseying at its own pace. And if you aren't down for that, it's kind of a strange watch. But I like that. I'm in for a unique experience that is maybe not exactly what I came to the table for, but I still like what's on my plate. It's definitely more anime inspired than just retro inspired. As Raggedy said, it's pulling from a ton of different shows, and besides just the meta of an animator in an anime, like seeing, oh, they're doing the high-flying Itadano circus thing, or the Nausicaa thing. Like, you can see the references, and you can point that out and feel very clever, and I like that. And especially because it's so visually strong, and it's paying homage to these things, and it kind of is the MAPPA's animator wish fulfillment to actually be able to draw quickly and not be punished by the system, which is very funny. Like, the show has a lot going for it, and I can get why people are still bouncing off of it because it is off in some ways. Like, it doesn't feel quite right. And I think the big part is because this animator goes to this world that she loves. It's this anime that she's super attached to, and she knows all the history of it, and she's so excited to be there, kind of. But we, the audience, don't know the show. We've never seen the show. We don't have that same attachment and beloved characters that she's bouncing off with. And while we kind of get their personalities quickly, we don't really care in the same way. We're here for her story, and she's not there. So it's off in that way. Overall, though, I'm still enjoying it. It's odd, it's quirky, it's strange, but I'm in for it. I'm not going to say it's going to end out amazing because I don't know where it's going, just like you, but I think it's been strong enough that I want to keep on watching and definitely talk about it.
I think it's been okay.
Yeah,
You know,
that's fair.
I'm waiting for the point where it hooks me. if I were not to watch another episode of this, I wouldn't feel like I'm being deprived of anything. Um, I've been really bothered by character designs here. I mean, a
Uh,
lot of them are just okay, but then you got our main character who looks like the Ring, or whoever it is, Sadako.
Yeah.
Um, and I just don't like that. It's such a forced hairstyle, just having it in front of her face because, like, oh, she's always looking down, so that's how it. I don't know. And when she pulls her hair back, she's a very nice looking character, and I get why they do that. It's just such a forced gimmick. And then you got Destiny, this character who looks like she is ready to be in a porno. It's just I just
to be
don't like that
fair,
character design.
to be fair to Destiny, her dad also looks like he belongs in a porno, so it's clearly just a family thing.
Like, she's supposed to be a princess, and she's looks like Slave Leia. She looks like that.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil next week, but I don't know if anyone has watched any of the Red Ranger show, the Red Ranger Isekai show.
No.
Oh, I haven't.
So I haven't made it far enough in Zenshu to encounter this Destiny character, but there's a character who in the Red Ranger show also just has the Princess Leia thing going on for no reason. Just big witch hat, a lot of body showing, and you're like, did that need to be that way? Anyway,
Do we want to vote?
I vote that we pass it, though I understand reservations.
I think out of the shows that we have on our docket today, this has the most potential to be an interesting discussion, though I am extremely skeptical that it's actually going to turn out anything great. So I would pass.
I'm also gonna vote to pass.
Yeah.
I think it is. I'm hoping that the promise it's laying down is going to pan out and it's going to actually say something instead of just being the pseudo wish fulfillment. So I'm hanging my hat on that.
This might not be the best show we talk about today, but I would rather watch and review a season 1 original than a season 2 of a show that we know what we're getting and we've already gotten and already reviewed. So
Yeah.
if it turns out bad, that's why I'm doing it. So with that said, unanimous pass. I think the drop should play. No, I hit the wrong button. I should not have done that.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
There we go. We have officially passed Zenshu for reviews. Can we keep the train going? Caroline, what's the next show?
All right, the next show is The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You Season 2. Okay. Done by, I was expecting you guys to say something. Studio Burberry
Blueberry
Animation
Studios.
Studios. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. We watched the first season, we reviewed the first season, and generally speaking, the synopsis of the second season is more girlfriends, more love. As I believe, Mason, you wrote that.
Oh no, these are all mine.
No, I don't take notes.
Oh,
You can bl-
thank you,
you can-
Raggedy. Raggedy wrote
You
that.
can blame me for the terrible synopsis.
Yeah, I don't think we need to say much more than more girlfriends appear.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets a bit uncomfortable at many points. But, you know, it is what it showed itself to be in season 1. It's dumb, but it can be fun. I don't mind this show that I was pretty favorable towards it in the first season, and I was excited to see the second season. I'll probably continue watching it, but it's there really isn't much to say other than what we've already said.
This show is surprisingly solid. The main character, unlike Buchigiri, is such a good boy, but he's surrounded by such a ridiculous harem with solid production values that you can't help but just like be okay with watching it. The big problem I have with this is we know the joke. We've seen season 1. Where is this show going to go? Will the same song be as compelling this time around? And I had my doubts, but it begins strong. There's a amusing little recap. There's some meta commentary, self-awareness that they're already in season 2. Like, it's, you know, it starts off strong and then it jumps into like body swapping and the new girlfriend is like in middle school. And I'm like, I think I'm good. I'm still okay. It's still a pervy, fun, absurd time, but it's just wearing a bit thin for me. And I'm sure it'll be just as solid as season 1. I just don't need to watch it again.
I feel like the biggest change in this season compared to the first season is that we actually see him being girlfriends or being boyfriend girlfriend with one of his first girlfriend's mother. So she's wrapped into this now, and she's a freaking weirdo. Like, all of these girls are like kinks put to 1,000%.
Yeah.
And they're all weirdos.
Speaking of kinks, I mentioned this to Caroline in the pre-show. And I'm going to ask you the same question, Mason. Is there something wrong with Japan with all this baby stuff? I don't get it.
So when you have a show where assumedly you will have to write 100 girlfriends and make them diverse from each other, the way you do that is you go into their personality settings of your create a custom character, and you have to max out their settings. So that's how you make them different. You have the character with the maximum size boobs. You have the character with the maximum size kink in this. You have the character with
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you right there. You definitely didn't watch episode 3. I'm talking about literal baby stuff.
No, I did not make it to episode 3. I did not need to watch 3 episodes of this show to be like, no thanks.
Spoiler,
though I
they
will
got turned into
say,
babies.
I do have in my notes, which few I have taken, for 2 of the shows here, not this one, I wrote the words goo goo gaga. So I guess I should have applied that to this one as well. So you'll have to wait for the last goo goo gaga to appear.
But yeah, it's fun. It's trashy.
Yeah.
It's a silly, good time. Rentaro is a genuinely good guy, which is nice to see. But you don't, again, similarly to Can You Keep a Secret? Well, I would say if you enjoyed it, keep watching. There's no reason for us to give a full review on it because we already did that.
Yeah. Season 1 was 2023, so we reviewed that episode 718. So go back and listen to it. Whatever we said about season 1 probably applies just as much to this one. And we liked it. It was a good show. We just don't need to watch it again. So I'm good to fail this.
Although I'm thinking that this could possibly pass listener choice when the time comes.
Probably.
And if
based on the quality of anime this season, I think it has a good shot.
And honestly, if it does, like, I'm not going to complain. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not upset.
Yeah. We'll just do a ranker of all the wives or all the girlfriends.
But unfortunately,
yeah, it's a fine show. Yeah, but fail.
Yep, fail.
Sorry, we don't really love this show as much as we used to. But maybe this next one, Raggedy.
Maybe. Next one we have is Ameku M.D. Doctor Detective. This is from Studio Project 9. You can catch it on Crunchyroll. And the synopsis is, did you watch House? Because if you watched House, it's House, but now House is a cute anime girl and solves real crimes too.
I've not seen House.
Okay, well
I'm kind of surprised, honestly. But no, that's the correct description of the show.
This feels like a show that was like tailor-made specifically for me because I love mystery shows. This is very much in my wheelhouse. I remember from the Shoshiman review, Mason, you were talking a lot about how a good mystery is one that you can solve, and I have figured out the mysteries for all the episodes I watched relatively early on. Maybe not like all the details about like some of the crime stuff or who did it and why, but like the medical stuff I pieced together because it actually follows, while exaggerated like a House MD, it follows like a logic to it, so it's there. And it's the characters are fun. If you liked House, you'd like this. I enjoy it because like I said, it was made for me. I don't know if there is a lot of other people who will enjoy it the way I do.
It's not that entertaining. It's kind of silly and boring.
So I don't need anime for this. I feel like there are a handful of really decent live action, medical, procedural, mix-up drama, mystery shows that I can go to watch that kind of stuff. Stuff like Zenshu. That has to be an anime. Stuff, I would argue, like 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You. That like works as an anime. This show, I've already seen this play out in other mediums, and I don't really need the anime version of it to work any better. And I actually liked episode 1 of this. It had energy. It had that scientific vibe and hospital diagnosing thing that was really entertaining. And I could see, if you were in the medical field, how you could piece together, such and such deficiencies or such and such issues. Like, that was good. But then it just turned to episode 2, which is outside of, like, I would say pure doctoring. It's into this whole crime scene with different mafia members and a shooting and a break-in and it just became this very hyper smart Dr. House. She is too smart for you, and she just grabs everyone and walks them through everything, explaining the entire crime in seconds without like any doubt, any like working through the process. As absurd as it is, she gets it right the first try, and it just felt so uncooperative. And that's kind of part of what I was complaining about in my Shoshiman review. I wasn't part of that mystery. I was just left out to be like flapped along the back of this car like a just married cans clinking on the driveway, as I was just like, I guess she's solving the mystery, here we go. And if you like that, it's comfy, it's fun, like it's got a good pacing to it. I just didn't enjoy my time with it. I don't know, I felt like my interest waned after episode 1.
Now, that being said, as much as there's not really all that many doctor shows or like hospital dramas in anime, one thing I did compare this quite a few times while I only watched the first 2 episodes. I compared during my watch of that was to Apothecary Diaries, because they have like the main character of Apothecary Diaries, Mao Mao, is kind of similar. She's solving these medical crimes with so much confidence, and you oftentimes don't know where it's going, and she has to spell it out for you what exactly the situation was. Very much like the main character of this show. The difference is that Mao Mao is actually a very entertaining character. And while she has this confidence that makes her feel like ever so slightly, maybe not full of herself, but almost in that direction, it's not to the point of this main character, Ameku. She feels very full of herself.
I think there's something even more than that. Because I think the difference is, yes, Mao Mao is very intelligent and does have some knowledge of plants and chemistry and stuff that I might not have to solve these mysteries. So I guess I get that. But Mao Mao is also solving these mysteries that have story and drama behind them. And she's solving them within the confines of this like royal palace where she is not the top dog. She has to work within the system and around the system to kind of gather clues, gather intel, figure it out, and piece it together before she can solve it. She can't just trample her way up to the bad guy's steps, knock on the door, be like, I got the info, and we go over here and solve it. Like, she's working within a system that makes that adventure of getting the clues and figuring it out more entertaining than what I've seen so far of Dr. Detective.
Yeah, Dr. Detective is very much like your procedural. It's your CSI, your NCIS. It's that model reskinned with, like I said, House MD.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to a very, for me, it speaks to a very specific, like, weird niche that I live in, and I am not surprised that you guys completely have bounced off this show. It doesn't look particularly great either, so it's not like it's some stunning, work of Sakuga that's gonna make up for any of that. I think it's an easy fail, even though I'll still watch it.
I guess, so as someone who dropped it at episode 2, did it get back to more, like, medical stuff?
Episode 3 is about I'll just say, episode 3 is about a video that makes people commit suicide, and it's trying to figure out what it is, and it's a medical condition that makes her, like, this girl, like, do this. And that's the one I clocked the answer 2 minutes in.
Yeah,
it wasn't very complicated, so it's like, which is, I guess, it. If you know too much, you might get a little bored because you figure it out too fast.
Yeah, that
now,
just
was
sounds
there
like
anything
a bait show, like a bait mystery.
Was there anything that I'm sorry, I keep on talking over.
No, I'm talking over you.
Was there anything that you noticed, Raggedy Doctor, that was incorrect,
like
that they have done so far?
Medically speaking?
Yeah, what can we book them for to, like, claim that the show? We couldn't possibly pass this show. Are you kidding me? The the tubular insertions of the carotid were shown on the wrong side in the x-ray, and I wouldn't dare sully my eyes with such medically incompetent filth.
Honestly, the worst thing medically was that she wore flip-flops into the ER.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
like
pretty
what are
good.
what are you doing?
That's it?
That's horrible.
That's a big no-no.
That's real bad. That's just asking for a needle to fall on your foot and get stuck with.
What if
Which happens. They drop a needle on the floor in the first episode, and she's standing like 5 feet away. It could have happened to her.
what if she was wearing Crocs? Would that help?
Oh God, I hate Crocs.
Wait, wasn't the main character of Zenshu wearing Crocs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
She didn't even put them in sport mode.
I know.
devastating.
She doesn't know what peak performance looks like. Are we ready to fail
All
this
right,
show?
are we done?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a travesty.
All right. Well, we've passed Zenshu. We failed 3 more, but we have 1 more show on the list. Caroline alluded
One
to
that we've
it.
already briefly talked
Yeah.
about. Apothecary Diaries Season 2, done by OLM. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. And synopsis is, as Raggedy so eloquently wrote, more Apothecary Diaries, which he's not wrong. There has not yet been like the Season 2 hook that is differentiating itself anymore from Season 1. It's more of the same. There is a continuation of story. There just isn't anything in particular to say, oh, this is the Season 2 story, you know?
I think they're keeping their cards close to their chest. They're doing a couple
I agree.
light mysteries, getting you reacquainted with the palace, the personnel within them, the different interplay before they do like the big arc that is like the setup for stuff. And I thought we were gonna get that big arc with like this bazaar, this traveling like shop, but it's kind of still just warming up to it. We reviewed this episode 729 if you want to listen to our season 1 review. And this is the 3rd show, I guess, now. On my notes, and I said this is the Goo Goo Gaga edition of Apothecary Season 2. Not because it's for babies, but just there's a bunch of like babies popping up. There's like baby humans, baby cats. Like there's just a lot of youth in this show. That said, it's more Season 2. It's more Apothecary Diaries. It remains fun how Mao Mao has to once again play within the rules of her station, and she's not the only player in the game. She's not the only one trying to solve these mysteries and like use her knowledge to not just solve the mystery, but also kind of have their way, have their power play. And for a winter 2025 show, you could do much worse than Apothecary Diaries. The show knows when to come out because the rest of the shows are not always up to snuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really dug the first season. It's not doing much different from the first season yet. I remember the first season took a little bit of time itself to build to something more, so I suspect it's going to kind of be the same thing, where eventually it'll get to something much more consequential. To some degree, the show lives and dies by Mao Mao and how you feel about her, but I'd argue that a lot of the other characters are just as fun. Jinshi is a lot of fun. I always forget his name. His assistant,
Gaoshun.
Gaoshun. I love him. He is so funny.
I love how he's just the dad. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
basically playing dad for everybody in the show.
Yeah. Oh, when he's reading the manual, the books that get sent in, and he's just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take these and keep them. He's very funny. There's more here than just her, is I guess the point that I'm trying to get at, and I think this is probably, given this season, one of the easiest passes that I would give.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I will say that Season 1 hooked me right away because I was so interested in Mao Mao and the world that she's working in, like the Inner Palace. But now that we have delved in quite a bit on the Inner Palace and all the characters within that, Season 2, I'm wondering what more is there to explore in this, and I've yet to really see where we're gonna go this season. Mao Mao is still great. I'm glad that Mao Mao got a Mao Mao herself, her little cat. Though she apparently does not like cats. That's very funny. And I'm gonna be enjoying the second season anyway. So If it were a stronger season, I probably would have said Apothecary Diaries can probably step to the side for this season, but it's definitely not a strong season. And I think people would definitely enjoy hearing our thoughts on season 2. So therefore, I will vote for passing it.
Yeah. Part of me does feel like, 20 more episodes of this show for a review, like, kind of sounds like a chore. But also, I'm looking at the landscape of the other shows, and I'm like, this is just one of the better ones. It's clearly the cream rising to the top, regardless of the rest is just kind of crummy. It's still solid, looks good, sounds good. It captured the essence, and as much as I was complaining about, 100 Girlfriends being more of the same, Apothecary has more wiggle room. She can go out of the palace and go on other adventures. She can solve different mysteries. I feel like even if I know what I'm going to get, it's going to be flavored just a little bit differently at times. So I'm definitely fine still passing it. And I think that's what we should do.
Oh, wait. Oh, and boom goes the dynamite.
So there we go. We have now passed Solo Leveling Season 2, Bang Dream, Ave Mujika, Zenshu, and the Apothecary Diaries Season 2. So 2 Season 2s, one kind of Season 2, but not really, a side story adjacent thing, and one brand new original. So we got a bit of a thing brewing, but we have a couple more weeks of impressions to go, so we still have time to get some more shows. And remember, listeners, stay tuned to when we put out the official listener choice poll on AAAPodcast.com. You already knew that, though. You're already there, actually, filling out your Oscars, so I'm proud of you. Good job. But yeah, that's our show for the day. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Raggedy and Caroline, for laying down their hot takes and very popular opinions, because they got better taste than me. Clearly, we just saw those top 2024. They were all those picks. Any other closing thoughts?
No.
Did anyone figure out if we have a TikTok?
I don't know.
Chat, you didn't let
At
us
the
know.
very least, everything that's on TikTok you could probably see on Instagram anyway. So check out Instagram.
Yeah, or Discord, or AAA Podcast. Well, we already talked about that. You got it. Support us if you're ever so kind. We really do appreciate it. Hopefully you're staying safe out there, and we wish you guys a great one. So we will see you next week for another week of impressions, some more fun topics. Till then, watch some anime. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.